back to another episode of Quarantine Talks. So today I've got another footballer with me, someone that I've got a lot of respect for, someone that's done a lot of stuff in the game and has a solid reputation for being an ever dependable player. I've got Markshall with me. What's good? What are you saying? You alright?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being
Can you
here.
hear me?
So I've been speaking to a lot of people during quarantine, and as I feel like I'm kind of like a dietary specialist now, because the first thing I'm asking everyone is, what's your diet saying now that we're in lockdown? That's the first thing I've just been asking everyone. So what's yours saying?
What are you talking about, as a professional or just in general?
Just in general, like right now, like what's your diet saying at the moment since we've been in lockdown?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I mean, obviously, this is normal, and I don't know what you'd call normal, but for me, it's like this eating what I normally eat on a daily basis, like,
That's
your
calm. So you've not gone
breakfast.
too left then. You've managed to
No,
stay disciplined.
yeah, of course. I mean, even before this, and even like when I'm off, not working and stuff, I generally I have a taste for certain things.
Yeah.
So like in the mornings, I'm a porridge person. That's not because
Okay.
of football. It's just
That's
a
the
general thing. Yeah, exactly. I'm
yeah.
a porridge person, 2 eggs and that. But obviously, like lunchtime, because everything was kind of structured where you'd go to work and they'd have breakfast laid out for you,
Yeah.
and then you'd have your lunch and stuff like that. So you had that structure to follow.
Yeah.
But obviously, lunchtime now, sometimes I don't really eat much, or sometimes I might go and get a little takeaway, or depending on how I'm feeling on the day.
Yeah.
Nothing too bad. Obviously, you got your McDonald's and all those sort of stuff. They're not open, so that's not
Yeah.
really tempting. No KFC, no nothing. You know what I mean?
I heard that. I heard that still. But how have you been finding quarantine then? Because as you mentioned, as a footballer, you kind of have this structure to your day that you've been acclimatized to. Because I mean, you've been playing football for a long time. You've made over 350 senior appearances. So you've played for various clubs as well. So you've get into a routine of Monday morning I do this, Monday afternoon I do this. What's been the toughest part about quarantine so far for you?
The toughest part about quarantine is not being able to go out and, like you say, follow that structure. Do you know what I'm saying? Because obviously, when you love something, you want to be able to do it, and when that gets taken away from you, it kind of causes a mental problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, for me, football relieves a lot of stress.
Mm.
Not that I'm stressed out, but it's joy, it's happiness.
Yeah.
So being locked in the house and stuff like that, obviously finding ways to entertain myself. I mean, I've got my I do different things. We have Zoom meetings with the manager.
Yeah.
We have loads of different things that we do, but it is tough. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is where you gotta, obviously right now I'm just trying to do different things to keep me occupied. Do you know what I mean? Different little housework. Also going to the park by myself and doing work there.
Mm. How's the stuff by yourself? Because I mean, as a professional, you have to have that level of discipline, but I guess the competitive nature that you'd usually get in training, it's not there when it's just by yourself. How are you managing to cope with that at the moment?
Um, I mean, obviously I do a lot of shadow training. When I say shadow training, I do like a lot of repetitive stuff. So if there's someone there, I'm just trying to mimic my movement,
Yeah.
as in like, trying to keep my sharpness. So for me, it's all about sharpness. Do you
Yeah.
understand? So when I go out there and I'm by myself, I do kind of sports specific stuff to
Okay.
my position. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So if there's not a football pitch, I'll set up a football pitch from scratch. I'll get some cones, I'll dribble through the cones. I'll set up cones where I have to cut in and shoot and stuff like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And try
Yeah.
to do it as quick as possible and try just to replicate everything that I'm doing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I heard that. I heard that. And you mentioned sharpness because that's one thing in football that's hard, right? I mean, you can stay physically fit as much as you can, but without playing games and stuff, that's the key thing, right? The actual match sharpness. Um, do you reckon that if the league comes back, that you're necessarily going to be at that sharpness you need to be at, or do you reckon it's going to take some time to kind of get back into it again?
it's definitely you can't replicate match fitness,
Mm.
and we get programs anyways. We get programs that we have to follow, you know,
Okay.
and obviously you get sent programs that you got to follow, and it's just trying to keep your base fitness there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you go
Yeah.
back, the sharpness through little 5-0s or little in-house games that we'll play will come back quicker. But
Yeah.
it's hard to replicate match sharpness without playing games. Even if you're playing every game,
Yeah.
and you know, even if you're training every day, sorry, and you're not playing in the matches at the weekend, when you go into it, it's never going to be the same as someone that's playing week in, week out.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I hear that still. So in the situation now that you find yourself, it's so I mean you got the move, you got your move in January, right?
Yeah.
You get your appearances in. You're in this promotion fight. You're in the
Yeah.
playoffs positions, and then this happens. What's the feeling around Northampton at the moment, like with the players and the gaffer and the chairman?
I mean, to be honest, it's a tough one because you don't want to put football before people's lives. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I mean, but we all want to go back, but at the same time, you want what's happening to kind of be over.
yeah,
Do you understand what I'm saying? Obviously, financially, it's not great for the club. Uh, Financially, it's not great for players, ones that are out of contract and stuff like that. So it's kind of, managing everything on a mental, in a mental way, managing your mental and just kind of giving yourself understanding to what's going on, really, because obviously, like you said, being in the position that we're in, and then this happens, you kind of lose momentum. And then also, you have uncertainties of whether the seasons are going to continue, whether it's going to get finished. Do you understand what I'm saying? Different players might have different things in their contract that might say that, you know what, if they get promoted, this happens or blah, blah, blah. There's players out of contract. So it creates a lot of uncertainty. But this is where you need calmness.
mm,
You need to kind of have that assurance over it's the manager, the PFA, send out stuff daily. But it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one because everyone's in a different position. At the club, whether it's the manager, whether it's the chairman, whether it's this player, that player. Every situation is different because players might have contracts that are secured for 2-3 years. Some might have contracts that run to the end of the season. So that creates uncertainty. Especially you got to think about how the market might be next window. This is not the Premier League
yeah.
or the Championship where there's a lot of money to play with. You understand what I'm saying? So it brings a lot of uncertainty, but you got to keep a calm head and just trust your ability, and keep both.
No, I totally hear that. And in terms of your Connie situation, was yours till the end of the season then?
No, mine's a bit more different. So my contract runs into the end of the season with different clauses. So if we
Ah,
get
crazy.
promoted, different things happen, and if we don't get promoted, different things happen. So it's not a basic contract which just ends
Mm.
at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? There's different things in it.
And of course, when you've got a team that's vying for playoff, that adds complexities to that sort of contract. Because I mean, if you guys make playoffs, the season continues and your contract's still there. I mean, how are you feeling about that at the moment? Because ultimately, we don't know what's happening with the league, right?
I think to be honest, I think the difficult part of all of this is the fact that the season might run beyond uh, the date which players' contracts run out, which is normally the 30th of June.
Yeah,
And that's the problem because a lot of clubs don't want to, or they're not in a financial position
to an extent.
to give players an extra month.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because for one, you have no source of income. Well, a lot of League Two, League One clubs, they depend on the fans. Well, all clubs do, but
yeah,
more so these clubs. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
yeah,
when you have no source of income, people are going to be dipping into their own pockets, like chairmans, for example, and
yeah,
that could be a problem. And then also you have the problem with a player might be doing very well and then he's out of contract, and is he going to risk playing that extra month? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, with these uncertainties, it makes it very, very tricky.
Is there a
Do you
lot
understand what
of
I'm
players
saying?
that have um, situations like that at the club? Because I guess if you've got a group of players that all kind of know that, okay, I know that by this date my contract's done, and
Mm.
I might have to play for another month, that can then affect team morale, of course, because it's like, what are you playing for? Is it a situation like that, or is it? Because I guess it must
I
be for
mean,
most clubs, all right?
yeah. I mean, at our club, we've not been told anything like that. We've had various meetings, Zoom meetings with the chairman
Yeah,
and the manager, and everything's just set on going back and going for promotion. Really,
yeah,
I mean, in this position, why would you want anyone to have any levels of uncertainty, especially when you have an opportunity to progress to a higher league?
yeah,
You need everyone to be on side. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whether they have individual chats with every player, privately, that's a different story. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you got to find a way as a leader to motivate someone to do their job. Now, some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by different things, and it's how you're going to get the best out of that individual. Do you understand what I'm saying? Especially when there's uncertainty
no,
surrounding, the situation.
no, for real. You mentioned about kind of the prospect of going up to another league. You're a player that has kind of done that throughout your whole career. I mean, I know before your move just now, you manager said that you're a player that's used to playing in promotion sides.
Yeah.
But in general, you've gone from non-league into league football, and you've been touted by massive clubs at various points in your career. What sort of what what does it take to kind of make that transition? Because a lot of people always talk about the story about like the Jamie Vardys and whatnot about the Premier League, but even to get from non-league to playing league football, a lot of people realize that that's not a jump that everyone can make. So what does it take to do that?
I mean, firstly, I think self-belief is massive, because
Mm,
self-belief is the driving force behind everything. Because
mm,
when a person believes in themselves, ultimately discipline can come from that.
mm,
Ultimately, consistency comes from that because you practice more. You know, I think it's very important for anyone trying to progress in anything that they do to have an element of love behind it, because you're gonna face challenges.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna face a lot of challenges. Some people have smoother journeys, some people than others, sorry. But I think consistency is very important. Self-discipline is very important. Self-belief is very important. And then you add those things together, and then you get the basics of what you need, because you need to practice. Without self-discipline, you can't practice. Without love, when you have that element of doubt in your mind, you give up. But with that love behind it, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. Do you understand what I'm saying?
mm.
So I think you got to have self-discipline. You got to love what you do. You got to practice. You got to try and stay consistent. I think a lot of things that let a lot of people down, and it's let me down a few times as well. But you know what? When you become more aware of it, you start understanding. You're not looking for perfection. Some people might say, "Oh yeah, to get into the league, you might have to be perfect," but
Mm,
you got to find something and be consistent. Do you understand
mm,
what I'm saying? You got to find the style and be consistent. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for shelf life. Do you understand what I'm saying? If
yeah,
something's always in demand, then it's always going to have shelf life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you got to look at your game. And we're not only talking about football, we're talking about everything. You got to look at
everything in
what you
general.
do.
Yeah,
You got to look at what you do and think, you know what? Is it in demand? Is it in demand? What am I bringing to the table? Always try to bring something to the table.
mm,
Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a very important recipe to progress, or to consistency. So me, I'm always practicing, because I feel like, okay, if I'm not bringing something to the table, then my shelf life is just gonna, you know, it's diminishing constantly.
mm,
So it's a thing of, okay, all right, well, I've made the step up. I've seen what I'm coming up against. I need to be better than this. So what do? I practice. It's about getting into the mentality when there's competition, not to hate, but to think, okay, all right, this person, you look at someone else's game, you always analyze. You look at what you're up against and you think, okay, well, that person might be better at crossing the ball than me. I'm not going to think, oh, yeah, no, don't work out for that person. You think, okay, well, I'm going to go and work on my crossing.
Yeah.
or that person might be. You add little bits to your game as you go along. Do you understand what I'm saying? To improve yourself.
Yeah.
Always welcome competition. You know, I think any person who welcomes competition can always progress, because it's something that you look at another person and you think, okay, well, you know what, I can improve, because you're looking, and you're not just thinking, okay, well, I can't do this, or this person is better than me. You're looking at that person. You might take something away from that person and add to your game. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, for real. I hear that. That's powerful, man. You mentioned about competition, right? And you've had various parts of your career where it's been very interesting. So, I mean, you had a part of your career where a lot of championship clubs were sniffing about for you, where you were
Yep,
doing some sick stuff because you were at the top of your game. You also had
yep,
seasons at like Bradford where you were the player of the year,
yeah.
nominated. What motivates you then to kind of say, okay, you know what, how do I go again? And what's it like when you're nominated for a player of the year, especially in them sort of seasons where they're hard seasons, but all of your
Of
players
course.
say, you know what, you are the guy. What's that like?
I mean, like you said, I think one of the most challenging things for me throughout my career, and this might sound strange, is being anxious.
Mm,
And I don't know if it's changing the subject a little bit, but it's coming back onto the same thing of wanting something, you know? And
yeah,
so anxiety, and when I say anxiety, it's not bad anxiety. You know, sometimes in life you want to do so well
mm,
that it kind of takes over your mind. So I was at Bradford, right? And I was in the dinner hall. And this is at the start of the season. And we all had our phones. 'Cause in the dinner hall, there's a little bit where the reception, so in the building, the reception is really bad. So we
yeah,
all put our phone there. So we had iPhones. A lot of the boys had iPhones at the time with the
yeah,
same see-through case. So I'm going back the end of the season. I'm going back to the start of the season.
yeah,
And obviously my contract's ending. So I'm thinking, you know what, I've got to do well. I've got to do well.
yeah,
And that's talking about that sort of anxiety. I've got to do well. I've got to do well. And I thought, okay, I'm going to set out a plan.
yeah,
So I wrote down on a piece of paper and I put it on my screen, on the front of my screen.
yeah,
I said, okay, I want this, I want that, I want blah, 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 blah. And on there, I'd play the season, 10 assists, 10 goals, blah, 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 get a move. And I had it on the window and someone clicked on the front of it, but they might probably thought it was their phone and they
yeah,
saw this. Mind you, the season before that weren't the greatest season
yeah.
because it was an up and down one, in and out of the team, whatnot.
So when you're
And
writing
came in
10
the dinner
goals,
hall.
10 assists,
Yeah, exactly. Came in the dinner hall now, and a few of the boys are laughing. So I was thinking, what are they laughing at? And so one of them must have said something about player of the season, blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
Mind you, this is at the start of the season, laughing at me and that. But I didn't get phased because I'm not one to get phased by that, you know?
yeah,
And that just kind of motivated me. That
mm,
kind of motivated me because I knew what I wanted.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And like I said, sometimes with anxiety, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? Depending on how you use that energy, that anxious energy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah. No,
So,
uh,
so I came to the end of the season. Well, as I was playing, started pre-season. In fact, I started pre-season. I was trying to leave because my old manager said he wanted to sign me, and I've
yeah,
had joy at Port Vale. I had a lot of joy under him.
yeah,
You understand? So I thought I'm trying to leave. So the new gaffer that came in, he said, "No, I don't want you to leave." Blah 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 blah. So I got my head down and I thought, okay, this is what I want to do. Blah blah blah. So I was working one game, get my confidence. It's very important as well when you're having for a player to have a good season.
mm,
Or I just don't like relating everything to football. For anyone in life
yeah.
to be very good, your environment is got to be good. You
No,
know what I'm
100.
saying?
The thing is, a lot of footballers
You got
say that the difference between performing and doing well and just doing all
yeah
right is that confidence that not only that you have in yourself, but
yeah
what the
the
manager
manager,
can give you. Yeah. A lot of
100%.
people say, listen, the manager will come in and tell me, listen, you're my guy. And then next thing you know, you don't care if you've missed 5 chances. You're spoiled
Exactly,
to sit because you're gassed. Yeah.
exactly. So there you go. Environment is very important.
Mm.
They talk about good energy. It's about being around people that support your dreams. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's about people that support you. So anyways, the manager goes, you know what, I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay. I want you to do well for me. You know, I've watched all the games that you played last season, and I don't know why the manager didn't play you more, but I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm not saying you're going to play every week, but I promise you, if you play and you do well, you keep the shirt.
Yeah.
There you go. So once he said that and he was true to his words, and 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, 5 games, consistency. And then you might have the one odd game and he knows that, okay, the manager ain't going to take me out now.
Yeah.
I'm still going to play. And then the confidence just kept on flowing. And you know what, we had a great year that year, apart from obviously, not going up at Wembley, but it was very good, And in terms of the other part about the clubs touting you and stuff like that, it's funny because your state of mind is so important. And I'm just giving it to you as straight as possible. And again, this is where the anxiety and negative anxiety can mess you up.
Yeah.
So I think how you program your mind is very important. And that comes from your environment and seeing things. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you believe the world loves you, the world will love you back. Now, when I was at Barnet and different clubs, and there was always clubs that wanted me, always clubs. But for some reason in my mind, because you're of the state of mind that you worked hard, you have to work hard. So you start thinking, it might not happen. It might not happen. So my mentality, whenever this is too good to be true, that was my that was my state of mind, because I've always had to work. I was of the state of mind that, nah, what if something happens? What if something happens? What if something happens? Like, this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
And in the end, it all manifested itself, with various things that happened to me.
Yeah.
Because even though I was doing well, it was almost like, this is too good to be true. This is not reality. This is not what my environment has said. Because, you come up, your mom's working hard, your dad's working hard. And sometimes they might come home and they're like, you know what? It's been so rough. Life's hard. When really and truly, you want to get yourself away from that mindset. You know what? It's a mindset of all good things come to me. Why not me? Do you understand what I'm saying?
There's power in the tongue, and you manifest it to be true.
Exactly. And I've learned that, your mindset is very important.
Yeah.
And also to your downfall.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because like you said, it comes out, it manifests itself. So I've seen the difference between writing something down and truly believing it.
Yeah.
And I've seen the difference between doubting something and what it can bring.
And what it can bring. No,
I've gone around the world.
That's powerful, man.
I've gone around the world to come back to all that point. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No. The thing is, that's a powerful point, man. Because literally, that's a powerful point still. I hear that.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've seen both sides of it, where things are going well and you have that doubt in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
And I've seen where things are going well and you're like, yeah, of course, why not?
Yeah.
Well, I deserve this. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My mindset is never to feel, I think as a person, when I say deserve, I need to, break that up for you. I think as an individual, you should never be of the mindset that you deserve anything. It's a sense of appreciation. So anything that you get, you appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? When you feel deserving, sometimes you're let down, you're disappointed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So going back to why I said deserve, I mean, why should you not feel, if you're doing well in life, why should you not have that feeling of, why not? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because at the time as well, I guess, to put into context, this was a young player that was performing well and doing good stuff, and championship clubs that were trying to get promotion at the time were saying, you know what, this guy could be someone.
Championship and Premier League.
And Premier League as well, yeah, because you had, I think it was West Ham,
all these clubs, so, and like even now, as I'm getting older, I really feel that it's important to teach people to go out there and live your dream, because it'll make you a better person. As you're doing your video now, I want it to go as far as it can go. It's important to me, because once you taste success, you want to give that to someone else. You want someone else to taste that, because it makes you a better person. There's no bitterness.
No, for real.
You understand what I'm saying?
For real.
There's no bitterness. You want people to progress.
Yeah. So with you, I mean, what was it like?
Say that again, please.
So with you, what was it like coming back to football?
Oh, what, after the ban?
After the ban, yeah. What was it like?
Yeah. You can speak
Coming,
about it. I mean, for me, coming back was a piece of cake. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
mm.
For
Just
the
for
first,
context, because it probably sounded a bit loose. You obviously you had a situation where you were on top of your game,
yeah.
and then personally, it would be great if I can get your view on it because I still
I'm gonna
feel
tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I
I feel
mean,
it's not touched on enough. I feel like it's not touched on enough.
if
I heard,
if if anyone if anyone reads it,
yeah,
they can see
yeah,
what's what. You know,
yeah.
I
I
never
feel
get
like it's not
embarrassed
touching
about
on
it.
because even Rio came out last week saying that if he had his time again, he would have spoken about it at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
it'll be really interesting to hear your viewpoint on it because a lot of people don't realize how mad it is for footballers, for people in athletics, where you're getting tested, they're putting things on lists every single other week, and it's like, and then bear in mind, it's not like a Premier League where these guys are updating everything for you and whatnot. You're
yeah,
in different league where it's different and things can happen. But so you had a situation where you had a drugs test was it Boxing Day?
yeah, Boxing Day,
Bloody hell, Boxing Day of all days as well, on Boxing Day, and
yeah,
unfortunately, it resulted in you receiving a 2-year ban from the game.
of course,
But you came back stronger. But what was that whole kind of time like
experience.
for you? Yeah, what was that experience like for you?
It was horrible. I mean, it was horrible for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
Anxiety was, oh my god, it was on a different scale.
Mm.
I mean, obviously, after my career is finished, then I can touch on it a bit more. But anyone that reads could read and actually see what happened. Do you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But for the first 6 months, it was the craziest period of my life. I mean, a combination of love and disappointment can break you to pieces
Mm.
mentally. It got to the point where, in order to cope, I had to say to myself, you know what? I don't care.
Mm.
You know, I'm gonna take responsibility. I'm gonna get over this, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna dedicate myself to getting back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I said to myself after that 6 months, I said, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get my head down. I'm gonna work hard, and when I go back, I'm gonna be a better player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be a better player, and I, with the support of my family, my loved ones around me,
Mm.
you know, luckily, you know, I was able to get through certain things mentally. But on the physical aspect, that was down to me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in terms of going and training, so I dedicated myself to 3 days a week. Three
Okay.
days a week was my time.
Yeah.
So on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday, I was in the park. Sometimes I'd be in the park for hours.
Yeah. Just
I was
graft.
in there. I was grafting. I
Yeah.
realized quickly through my experience in the game that, listen, you need to be sport specific.
Mm.
So meaning that I'm a winger, I need to improve my crossing, I need to improve my dribbling, I need to improve my shooting. So I structured, like I said, I even do that now. I structured myself to a makeshift pitch that I made up. I was
Oh, sorry, bro.
cutting in, going
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can I hear you now? Yeah.
I was cutting in, I was going outside, I was doing everything that I thought, you know what, would make me a better player.
Yeah.
And when it was time to come back to football, I went to QPR, and Joey Barton said to me, mind you, that's the year they got promoted. I went
Yeah.
there for 2 days. After 2 training sessions, they
Mm.
said to me that after 2 days. Hold on one sec. Can you edit this a little bit, please? Because
Yeah.
I'm on the phone. Go downstairs, please. Here, go. Bye. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, let me just clap it here so you know to edit. Yeah. There we go. No worries, bro.
Yeah. So I went to QPR and this is my first. So I was provisionally allowed to train for the last 3-4 months before I was actually allowed to play.
So on that quickly, you know when the whole thing says banned from footballing activities, what does that actually mean?
Meaning you can't play football with anyone apart from yourself. So basically,
Swear.
when I say yourself, I'm talking about you can play in the cage and all
Yeah.
that sort of little stuff, or you can play on the grass. But anything that's registered, whether it's Sunday League or you're
You
not
couldn't
allowed
even
to
go
do
to
that. Do you understand what I'm
powers
saying?
or goals.
If it's competitive in terms of he's playing for money and that, no.
Oh wow.
So, anyways, so after that period, I was coming back, and I was quite confident because, like I said, when I left football, I had all these teams that wanted to sign me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or was interested. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I went to QPR. I remember because there was quite a few clubs, but I decided that I didn't want to go League One. I
Yeah.
didn't want to go here because I had quite a few clubs. So let
Yeah.
me try my hand at going to QPR because they were interested at the time. So I went in. Richard Allen sorted that out, and Kevin Bond sorted that out. So I went in first 2 training sessions. Training. That's when Jermaine Jermaine Janis and all those boys were there.
Yeah.
Is it Jermaine Janis? I think he was there at the time.
Would that
Yeah,
been
Gino Hoyle,
as well?
the year that they got promoted.
Yeah.
No, Tarabi weren't there.
They weren't
But
there.
anyway, Gino Hoyle, all those boys were there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe Barton was there. Bobby Zamora,
Yeah.
Andy Johnson was there. And I never forget my first session. So my first session, Joey Barton came up to me and he went to me, where are you coming on loan from? I said to him, nah, I'm just coming back into football. I ain't played football for, what would have been 21 months now?
Yeah.
I said, I ain't played football for 21 months now. And he goes, some talent you are, blah, blah, blah. So I was training, and then they said, listen, we want you to play a game. Mind you, I'm impressing in training and blah, blah, blah. And training, couldn't play the game because obviously I wasn't allowed to play in any competitive game.
Yeah.
So eventually I was there for months, for
Yeah.
about 2 months, just over 2 months. So literally about 2 weeks before I was allowed to actually play again.
Yeah.
And then in the end, you just become a face because you phase out.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I remember Joe Jordan said to me, "You're good, but we got Nico Cranchar and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And do you think you're going to displace them?" Obviously, me being me said, "Yeah, I could displace them."
Yeah.
But he said, "Nah, you're a talent, but you know, all that malarkey." So,
No, I get you.
anyways, I accepted that. Anyways, he said you're definitely gonna have a future in the game.
Yeah.
So I left anyways, and I had a few options. So Gillingham came in; they wanted to sign me.
Yeah. The Man
So
United of Kent.
the Man United of Kent. So Peter Taylor was the manager, and I
Yeah.
went in, had a few training sessions. He pulled me into the office. He goes, "I want to sign you, but I want to see you in a game." So we played a game against Dagenham and Redbridge, their reserves. I think I scored one set one up after the game. The Dagenham and Redbridge manager said to me, listen, we want to sign you straight." Peter Taylor went, "I want to sign you." Sat down with Peter Taylor. They put an offer on the table. So I said, "You know what? No, I'm not going to do it," because they want to give me an option of another year. So I said, "I only want 6 months." Mind you, I'm just coming out of a ban.
But
Season's
I
almost
just
finished.
want 6
And
months.
yeah. I
But
said, "I
why
only
was that
want
though?
6 months."
Why in a situation
I
where
wanted 6 months because I knew that I could
you could move?
progress again.
Okay, I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you. What? So
So anyway,
I'm guessing you were banking yourself that much. You didn't want the
yeah,
security.
of course.
I hear
No,
that.
I didn't care about the security.
Yeah.
I was that confident. I
Yeah.
worked hard for this.
Yeah.
So anyways, I said, "I ain't doing it." I said to my agent at the time, I said, "Listen, I ain't doing it." I said, "I ain't doing it." He said, "All right, then, no worries. I'm going to go with you." So the next day he goes, Coventry want to sign you. So but what they want to do, they want you to come in because they wanted to sign you from before when they were in the championship. So they wanted to sign you with those. So I went in, thought I was going to play football. It was me and this kid from Boa Vista and another kid. So we went in thinking they were going to train. We had to do these killer runs. So we had to do these box to boxes, but I think they're called 4.5. So you go box to box, back. So you do 4 box to boxes in half the length of the pitch,
Yeah.
non-stop. And you have to do it in something like 72 seconds or something like that.
Yeesh.
Listen, I done one set and I thought, this is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Done the second set. Well, mind you, had to do 4 of them. The
Yeah.
second set, I'm thinking I'm tasting blood in my mouth here. So by the second set, the kid from Boa Vista dropped out.
Swear.
He dropped out. They were
Oh,
hard.
man. Yeah.
So I kept on going. And the manager was looking for me in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
He came down the stairs and he said, I'm doing the third one. I'm going up my third thing now.
Yeah.
My third box. And he's going, stop. the next day, I've come in, I see no one else. The kid from Bow's wrist is gone, and another
Good.
kid there's gone. The manager gone, you know why I like you? Because you got heart. He goes, we know what you can do because we've got all the videos because we were trying to sign you from before.
Swear.
So I had one training session and then the game on the Saturday. Mind you, I went there on a Thursday. Thursday, I think that was their day off, and then Friday. Was it Thursday or Wednesday? I went there on a Wednesday or Thursday, one of them.
Yeah.
But anyways, the game on Saturday got cancelled, and we played the in-house game. And after about 20 minutes, the manager called me in the office and said, I want to sign you.
That's
So
crazy,
that
man.
was that, and then just kept on moving from there and just having different moments. But for me, the main thing was overcoming that situation. I didn't want to be remembered for
For the
failing a
situation.
drug test.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've had people call me, famous people call me, you know, and obviously I'm not going to say any name because while you're playing, you're not allowed to speak about the situation.
Yeah, of course.
So I've had famous people call me and said, you know what, that was harsh, blah, 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 blah. And they've read what happened and they thought, you know what, it was a bit out of order with the amount of time that you got, blah, blah, blah. And if you ever need something, and it's one of the most famous footballing persons in this country in terms of commentary that called me and said that to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Said to me, anything that you ever need or anything that you ever need help with in the future, call me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I just didn't want to be remembered for something like that. Do you understand? So I made sure that I dedicated myself, and I thought this is not going to be my chapter. And mind you, my band was at Wembley, and I've walked out at Wembley twice now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Since that period.
Yeah, because you had the playoff. Yeah.
The Charlton, and then you have Bradford. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's about, gritting your teeth and getting your head down
the situation, isn't
yeah,
it?
overcoming. It's very important,
It's a bit as
very
funny
important.
as it is. It's very similar to this quarantine situation now. Like we have to overcome it. Like you can't let it be. Like you can't let this situation, whatever happens now, be remembered for what it is. You have to overcome that. So now, credit to you.
And this, but this is why you got to take an opportunity in this time to better yourself. Better yourself at your craft, because the world's going to go back to normal or some sort of normality. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It teaches you to appreciate more, whether you are a person that parties a lot, go and enjoy your life, whatever you do, whether you ate a lot and you want to go out and eat, whether you spend family time with family, all these things, all these restrictions, once they're lifted, appreciate them more. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people need to start realizing that, you know what, make the most of life, because we're only here for a short time. You can live until you're 100.
Very short. It can, just like that, everything can
exactly
change.
So it's very important. You know what I'm saying? Like I phase my life. I've decided that there's 4 phases to my life. You know what I'm saying? Phase 1, this is football. Phase 2, it's a different phase. Phase 3 is a different phase. Phase 4. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're on phase 1 now. How I mean, you still got a lot of time in football left. But
I think I got a lot of time, to be honest.
What do you reckon?
And that's what I'm doing. But you got.
What do you reckon phase 2?
Say that again, please.
What do you reckon? You said phase 1 is football. You still got a lot of time.
Phase 2 is definitely. When I say phase 2, obviously it's more giving back. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's very important once you go through something that you can teach something at someone about it. Do you know what I'm saying? So like now, even though I'm getting older and I'm still playing the game, when I see a youngster, whether they play my position or not, because I know my time is running out, whether I spend another 10 years in the game, just for example, it's still running out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So when I see this youngster coming through, and if they've got ability, and I can help, I'm gonna try and help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether they play my position or not, because I want this person to come up and eventually help someone else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's it. It's more like teaching. You educate yourself. Once you get the education, then you can give back. So
others.
I've been educated in my own field. So then obviously I can give back, because it's experience, isn't it? You can't beat that. No, you know what I'm saying?
For real.
So whether it's going over into teaching, whether it's in football, whether it's in life, that's it. But then if I want to go over into something else, I've got to educate myself.
In football, man, honestly, because you have to look at the amount of young black players, right, that face a lot of scrutiny, that kind of have the media eye on them, that that are very good talents, but for one reason or the other, they're not able to kind of mold what they are. And it's like what you've
Of
proven.
course.
It's not about. It's like what you said. It's not about perfection. It's about the consistency of what
Consistency.
you're doing, like what you've managed
Yep.
to make yourself in the last few years. Any manager that knows that they're trying to get their team to push for something is calling you straight away. Like even if
Of course.
Northampton, with the whole season now, if League Two is abandoned, I know next season any team that's looking for a push, whether it's from Championship to League Two, are saying, you know, we need to get him in. He knows how to operate
Exactly.
the field. So
But that's what it is. You realize with life, everything follows a pattern. If
yeah,
you are a loser, and when I say loser, we're not talking about just the overall personality. We're talking about if you've been in a system where it's not consistent, people are
yeah,
going to judge you of the based on that, isn't it?
yeah,
If you've been in an environment where they see a pattern of consistency, they're going to say, well, hold on one second. This person's been in an environment where it shows a pattern of consistency. So
yeah,
somewhere along the line, whether it's his personality, there must be something about this person why he keeps getting in these positions. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
for real.
And that's what
For real.
people want to see. But I feel like, touching on the topic of young black boys, I never really like to touch on the topic of just black. I'm just talking about
Everyone,
humanity.
you're right.
You
It's
see
everyone
a
still.
lot of young people in general.
Yeah.
I think one of the most difficult challenges that they face is finding themselves early.
Mm,
We all face that challenge. It's
mm,
important to find yourself, because when you find yourself, you find what is for you and who is for you.
yeah.
And so I'm saying, and that's the problem that we all face at a young age, because we
Yeah.
all have this problem with conforming. We want to fit in, want to be a part of the crowd. Do you know
Mm,
what I'm saying? You can be a part of the crowd. It's like everyone. You have a leader. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
You have leaders. You have followers. It's how you choose to lead someone,
Yeah.
and then it's who you choose to follow. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
That's
think it's
very
hard for young
important.
footballers as well, because I mean, if you look at the traditional route into football, I mean, you might go into a club when you're 9 years old, you're playing a certain system.
Mhm.
Some boys, you're going to move to digs. That's a completely different experience for you. Some boys, you might go the way through the
Mhm.
system, and then the club says, you know what, we're not going for you. So you then have
Mhm.
to find another club, and you
Mhm.
then have to find this identity. And a lot is not spoken
Mhm.
about. I mean, now it's probably better with all of the player care specialists and everything, but there's a lot of,
Mhm.
I would say, trauma that young footballers that can go through that it's not spoken about. Like a club's telling you that, listen,
Oh,
we're not
massive.
in your contract, or a club's telling you that, you know,
Oh yeah, massive.
you're not in the plans for next season. That it's not spoken
I'm
about enough.
telling you that happened to me. That happened to me. I was at Swindon and I was playing, and the man just said, we're gonna give you a new deal." Mind
Yeah,
you, my mum had just died. They're gonna give you a new deal, and at the end of the season, released me. I sat in my room. So mind you, I'd gone to Barnet. I had a trial. I was their best player attacking wise, but
yeah,
defensively, I weren't doing my job.
yeah,
And my agent rang me and said, the man just said, doing a sign you." I sat in my room, put my face on my pillow, and I screamed. I thought
mm,
my world was ending. And then I swear to God, no word of a lie, I took a deep breath. It's about strategizing as well. It's about having, for me, I think there's so many things that can help a person develop strategies in your own self of how to overcome things.
mm,
So sometimes, whether it's counting to numbers in your head or taking a deep breath, after my agent rang me and said that,
mm,
and I done that, all right, I, I took a deep breath, and it's like I was energized. I
yeah,
took a deep breath, I rang him back, and I said, all right, give me the manager's number, because I'm confident that I was his best player.
yeah,
I've got the manager's number, and it was Mark Stimson at the time, and I said, hello, and he goes, hello, he goes, who's this? I said, it's Marky. He used to call me Marky,
yeah,
and he goes, oh, Marky. I said, my agent just rang me and told me that you don't want to sign me, and I want to know why, because I thought I was your best player. He goes, in a team like this, we can't afford to have any luxury players. I said, all right, no worries. He goes, I said, let me come back. And he goes, you come back, show me that you can defend, and I'll sign you. We played against Arsenal. I done really well up against Kieran Gibbs. We
yeah,
played against Watford, done really, really well. We played against Charlton, done really, really well. Played against the fourth game was going to be Southampton. He said, you're not playing. I said, why? He goes, because if you play and don't sign this contract, someone else might sign you, and we're not having that.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
you got to be brave. I think being brave is very important. I think a lot of people's problem is that they're scared to fail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What do you
A lot
say?
of young
Cut
people,
out. Do you say they're scared to fail?
yeah, they're scared to fail.
Yeah.
Me, I
I think
rather,
it's because the way failure is labelled, though. Like, I think
yeah, of
a
course,
lot
it's
of
important.
yeah, a lot of people label failure as a bad thing, and don't get me wrong, it can hurt. But without failure, there's not growth sometimes.
No progress, no, but it can't be
Yeah.
because you have to try something to know what results. If you keep trying it to find a result, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no, listen, I think a lot of young people in general, you know, I think it's important to find yourself. It's hard sometimes.
Mm.
Different people find themselves at different points. But I
Yeah.
think most people that find themselves at a young age, they go through life more consistently,
Yeah.
you know, with more consistency.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No,
So,
I
you
completely
know,
hear that, man. But bro,
yeah,
thank you so much.
no
Proper
worries, man.
appreciate it, man. More power to you.
Yeah,
Hopefully
you
this
too, man.
stuff gets resolved soon and you're back playing, man, because I know how much it's burning you not to play. And
Of
whether
course.
it's playoff finals or whatever happens next
Just
season,
playing, bro.
yes, man.
Whatever happens, yeah, we're just
Yeah,
trying to enjoy it for as long as possible.
for
That's
real
it.
talk, man. No, proper
All
appreciate
right, love,
it.
my bro.
Guys, that's another
No worries,
episode,
man.
man. Yeah, bro,
Take
thank you
care.
so much, man. Proper
All right,
appreciate it,
cool,
man.
cool.